So, what is your name?
Ronald Edwin Hiles.
And you prefer to go by?
Edwin.
Okay. And what year were you born?
That's a hard one. 1937 during the flood.
And during the flood, so...
during the flood, right to Heights flood.
were you born in the hospital downtown, or?
McDermott. When I was born, my dad was in the hospital with my older sister. And where I'm sitting at right now was water. He took a rowboat from this curve right there where you pulled in, across the railroad tracks to the general hospital to see my sister when she was, I think, 2.5 years old. You know how they communicated? Well, whenever any phones, they used the radio, WPAY.
Oh, wow. What had happened to your sister?
She lives up on McDermott Pike. She's still there.
What had she caught when she was little?
It wasn't that. She had something like a gallbladder or something. I don't know. She was just a little kid when they had trouble with her. She had to go to the hospital, and at that time I was in the process of being born.
So then you grew up in McDermott?
Yeah, most of my life was there.
Great. And so where did you go to school?
McDermott.
Is there anything that you really, really liked about growing up there?
Not really. It's a poor town, but it's slow pace, and I like slow pace. I don't like rush.
How long did you stay in McDermott?
Till I was probably 22, 23, and then I come this way.
So, high school and everything out in McDermott.
Yeah.
And then when you came towards Rushtown, what made you choose to do that?
First, I wanted the business of my own, so the station up here on the other corner, I got that when I was, I think, in 1965, and I've been here ever since. I've been on this part of the road, up or down the road, one way or the other.
So you ran a gas station?
I had a gas station, grocery store, trucks. I had just a little bit of everything.
Great. Were you a mechanic, or were you selling them?
Mechanic and whatever I had to do.
Great. So what was it like to run your own business?
Beats working for somebody. You don't have all your benefits are not there, because when you work for somebody else, you got benefits. You don't have them when you work for yourself. Makes a difference.
So how long did you keep the station in the store?
Well, the first divorce came in 1989. That's when I got rid of her. I give it to my ex-wife. She owned it all.
While you were running it, what did you like about running it day to day?
Doing what I wanted to do. Doing what I wanted to do.
So after you stopped having the station and the store, what?
I come down here and run the towing trucks.
Well, that's interesting. And that was in about 1990.
Yeah, well, in 1980, I come down here 89. I moved here probably 3 days before Christmas in 89.
And what was your truck company called?
I was towing. But I had flatbeds. I did everything.
So what kind of, how far out in the county did you work?
Oh, I've been down as far as Knoxville, or been that far down south. I've been above Detroit. I've been above Chicago. I've been to Philadelphia. I've been to upstate New York. Just where I had a place to go to get something. I had a certain place.
What was the strangest thing you ever saw while you were doing that?
Well, not a whole lot of strange things, but there's things happen every day you go out. Everything's different. That's one thing I liked about what I was doing. Nothing was the same. No matter what you did, it wasn't like it was yesterday. Very different.
So, and about how long did you keep the company?
I quit 2 years ago, February. I worked till I was 75.
It's a long time to work.
I know, it is. But I loved everything I was doing. But I got to the point where I could not handle all that stuff. I couldn't. When they say you get 75, you lose most of your strength, they're not lying to you. I couldn't do it anymore.
So running a business here in Portsmouth, do you think was it different than if you'd been somewhere else?
We're in a poor area, very poor area. Yeah, it's different. You gotta figure out everything you can do. Just make $1. It never quits. And people around here, if they get into you, they won't pay you. So you gotta watch what you do.
So living here in the Portsmouth area in Scioto County, what have you seen change?
The biggest change, what hurt us most, drugs. Drugs. Most of the drugs come from college kids. I don't care if it's here or Huntington or wherever you find a college, you find a big supply of drugs. It never quits.
Did you ever have trouble with anybody directly, or was it just the in general?
In general.
Yeah. Do let's see. I want to make sure you ask all good ones here. Let's see. So did you have a lot of contact with the other business owners while you were running businesses?
I associated with most of the people that were doing what I was doing, and a lot of them I helped get started in that business.
Oh wow, what goes into that?
Pardon?
What goes into getting it started?
Well, first in the towing, they had to have a truck and had to have it set up, and I did Rifle Crawl that way in Portsmouth and Roger Hall the way on the west side. Yeah, we did that stuff. And some other guys out here, they had backhoes and dump trucks, and they got points where I helped a lot of them get them started.
That's great. Were you kind of like an advisor to them or teach them how to do it?
No, I was always at the right place to help them. I guess that's what we can say is just, it happened. Just the opportunity was there for me to do it.
So what was being a business owner here in Scioto County? Since you're a business owner, what did you hire help? Or was it all just you? Were you ever the boss?
I usually hired part-time help. I tried, for the first 2 years, I never took a day off. I didn't take one day off. I did what I had to do all of it. And then later on in life, it got a little bit easier, and I got 2 or 3 kids to help me. They was in high school and they needed money, and I did it that way.
Also, high school kids could drive the tow trucks.
No, but I could do that, but they could stay and pump the gas and take care of things. No, they couldn't do that. What I wanted done, but they kept the other part going.
Gotcha.
That's what I had to have done.
So with hiring kids all the way through to work in the grocery store and the gas station.
Mainly the ones I hired was mainly the gas station. My ex-wife worked at the grocery store, and we hired girls for that too, but they were from the area.
And that's interesting to me because most places now you do your own. You take care of them. So what did the high schoolers do? What was their main job when they were helping?
In the station, they would pump gas, they would change oil, they would change tires. I had probably 7 out of 10 was real good, and you always got some that's not too good. And that's that way it works. The store, most of the girls could not make change. Didn't know how. And there were straight A students in school, and that's just something I just couldn't figure that out. How's come I can't do that?
Yeah.
Simple, isn't it? Makes a change. Not to them.
It is interesting thing. Stuff that surprises jumps up and surprises.
Whenever you know that they're smart and they can't do it, you wonder why. Where's the school fall at? Why are they not doing right?
Right.
Because making changes, that's your everyday life. There's not a day out of the week that you don't have a problem making change. You got to know what you're doing.
So when did you notice a difference over the years hiring different high schoolers to help you out? As a general rule, did they get better as time went along, or worse as time went along, or just different?
It had nothing to do with times. Some of them you get was real good, some wasn't. It didn't make any difference. It just, sometimes you had good kids to help. Sometimes you didn't. So it wouldn't had nothing to do with time changes.
Well, that's good. That's good to know. Let's see. And thinking here, I know you went to school out of McDermott, and then came out and ran businesses. And now, what did you decide to stay in this area? What was it about it that you liked?
I like the slow pace. I don't like fast-paced life.
Well, now you've run right through my list of questions. Is there anything else that you think I should have asked?
No, I don't know what you're looking for an interview, but if you want to know something about the area, that would be. You can ask some things I know and don't know, but.
Okay. About just this area of Rushtown in general?
This is where the canal went through.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side of that railroad. You ever read anything about?
A little. And I stopped over there at the piece that is still intact of the canal. One of the locks.
Yeah. The one up here on the corner. Number 48.
Mm-hmm.
This is 49, where that A-frame is sitting on top of.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Can you see the A-frame down there? Down. Straight down.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
No, this way. Down. The new house way down there. Can you see it?
I see a blue house.
Way down there.
I can't see.
It's an A-frame sitting on top of 49. Sitting right on top of it. But when I was a kid, there was a house sitting there years ago, but it wasn't that big, wasn't that nice, but it was a camp. 49 was considered, that's where they had the gunpowder plant.
Oh, wow. When was that?
Probably back in the 1850s, but anyways, it blew up, and they run it by the water power. 48 up here was for Brown had a grinding mill. You ever read anything about that in those canal books?
Mm-hmm.
That's Big Brown up there. Yeah, that was about the 10-mile marker, and I think about between every lock, the water would be about 8 foot rise, you know. And there's 50 of them, so it's 400 feet lower here than it is at Buckeye Lake. That's where it comes from.
Mm-hmm. That's great. And so, did you always know that the locks were still around? And
Oh yeah, my granddad would tell me stuff years ago when I was a kid. What was her name? Henrietta Modelman used to be the librarian.
oh yeah,
She stopped in the station one day up there, and we was talking about the canal, and across from the station was a big hump. And she wondered what that was for, and I explained to her, and I sat down, I drew her a sketch of what it would look like, and she looked at it, I said, will you have somebody do a better drawing, fix it better? Yeah, I said, I'll do that. So I gave it to her, and about 3 or 4 months come by, and she come in one day with a great big grin and said, here's your book. I looked at it and I said, the picture I drew you, who copied it? She said, nobody. I said, we took yours. It's in there. I'll draw a picture that it was a bridge across the canal, and I'll draw a picture of the bridge with a farm wagon on top of it. Where they parked the wagon on top of the bridge. The bridge had trap doors at the bottom. So they opened up the doors, put the canal boat underneath of it. The wagon had slats in it where you pull them out and drop the grain down in the boat. So I draw that and give it to her. And I put behind it the Pete Brown mill right behind it. So she thought that was pretty good. I said, boy, I wish you'd have had a real good drawing of it. She said, no, he wanted that one. Back years ago, that one section road was brick. And we call it 104, well back then it was Route 112. They changed it in 1956. And I guess when the canal was going pretty good, a place down here about a half mile down up on the hill called Crichton's Inn. You ever hear of that? People that went on honeymoons and stuff from Huntington, Cincinnati, and places, that's where they went, up on that hill. And I was reading some of it, said the dining area would hold up to 100 people. Out here.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty interesting to me. People would come out from Cincinnati up here to spend a honeymoon.
That's wild.
Yeah, for back in those days, but where was it going to go? And when the train started, it just made it better. Then the canal boats, they quit. They quit around 1900. You ever seen pictures of it?
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 back on the walls for you.
Back behind me.
Back in the hallway,
I'll have to go check them out.
there's 2 good pictures. One of them is a friend of mine bought a house up there on Simpson Road, and there was an old box trailer in there, and they told him clean it out, have what you want. These pictures probably been buried for 75 years, and it's back there.
We'll have to take a picture of them before we go.
Pardon?
We'll have to take a picture of them when we go.
It was pretty nice. So I had a friend of mine that break it down on a computer, and he put it four pieces and then put them together and put it on a disc.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Great. So how did you go about learning all this about the canals and the history of the area?
A lot of stuff I listened to my granddad. And he told me a lot of stuff that most people don't even think about. 104, north of my old station up there at Rushtown, was brick. And then where the brick ended, all the way on up to 0348, That was all that road, the bottom of it, was logs this way across, and then it fell over because it was all swamp, and they had to keep it up, and they put logs, and they're still there. They're still there today.
Oh, that's wild.
Now that's been a long time ago. You think logs would rot?
You'd think so.
Not underground like that. They're still in there. Did you ever read anything about Rushtown other than
Just the canals.
the used to be an old grocery store up here? It was SS English, and I was reading some of the stuff that they did. They had a business about in the 1850s of about 80,000 a year. Is that very much money?
It's a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, when wheat was about 10 cents a bushel, but they also had firewood, they had all kinds of stuff. Matter of fact, where I'm sitting, they owned it too. They owned everything.
Oh, wow. It's wild.
Anything you might be interested in?
Well, so you talked about the canals and the stuff that. Is there anything else that you remember your grandpa telling you about?
Not so much that up, but the stone mills, I followed them, and they come in from Raritan. Leif Taylor, he had the stone mill at Raritan, Ohio, way before McDermott's. And the reason it comes to McDermott, Raritan incorporated, and they will start taxing him. He told them, said, this will be history. I'm leaving. And they thought he was kidding them. You ever been to Raritan?
Mm-hmm.
You ever noticed sidewalks all around Raritan?
Yeah.
He did that years back in 1900s, before 1900. Raritan was a busy little town. I think there was maybe 7 cars in Southern County. Raritan had 3 of them.
It's funny to think of that few.
I know, but Raritan had the majority of the cars. They had the stone business, they had stone out there, they had the timber and all that stuff. And they had a railroad yard out there. And it was a very busy place. You go back that far, you think, how did they do it? And here's something I always wondered, and I don't know, somebody will tell me one of these days. The stone built these locks. You seen the locks, didn't you? You seen the stone, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
How'd they get it here?
No idea.
How would they get it here?
Have to be by horses.
Rocks that big? They come from Carey's Run and Slab Run. How did they cross the creeks? How would you take rocks that size and cross the creeks and drag them 10, 12, 15 miles?
You gotta have a bridge or a boat or something.
Boats wouldn't go across them creeks. They're not that deep.
I don't know.
I know how they got the logs to build the road. I know how they got that. That was built after the canal, so they just flowed them down the canal and drug them out and used them that way. But the stone where they got building the locks, I have not figured out how they got them there. Because there wasn't no trucks. I don't know how they hauled them.
I don't know.
Because if they had wagons, how would they go down the creek back up the other side?
Right. I don't know.
This type of stone they got right there is called sandstone. Indiana has what's called limestone. It's hard. It's real hard stone. Sandstone not that hard, but it's awful heavy. And I just kept hearing how they transport all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to ask our local history folks. I'll go ask our local history department, see if they know.
I haven't given you a good answer.
I'll ask them and see what they find out. They may not know either.
Originally, 104 run, that crossing wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
The road run on the other side of the tracks. So far down they had an underpass. Really had an underpass there. And you think, underpass it? Yeah, there was one at Rushtown years ago, but that was probably done away with by 1920. This road here behind us, that was built in 1936. The year before the flood. I think the water was probably 5 to 6, maybe 7 feet above that railroad track in 1937.
That's crazy.
That model, she died years ago, didn't she? I think she's on that bus probably for 30 years. A bookmobile.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was a little kid, she was on it. And when I had the station, she was still doing something.
That's great. Well, I don't want to cut you off at all, but I'm out of questions. Is there anything else that
No,
you think I should have asked?
You just think there's anything you want to talk about. I don't know what you're really looking for.
You've done beautifully. Did a good job. We like to just kind of let people talk, and they usually get into things that they know about, and you did just that.
If you start talking, you can start on A and end up in Z, and never realize you went that far.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.